I am Dr. Savita Mishra, Principal, Vidyasagar College of Education, Fasidewa, Darjeeling, West Bengal. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Pitambar sir for inviting me for this workshop. My dear students, today I will present before you on the very important topic for your exam, that is the biodiversity, importance and conservation. As you know that biodiversity is made of two words, bio and diversity. Bio means life and diversity means variety. The term biodiversity was introduced by an American biologist, Edward Wilson. Biodiversity refers to the variety of life forms and habitats found in a defined area. It represents the totality of genes, species and ecosystem of a given region. Biodiversity includes diversity within a species, between a species and among ecosystems. Biological diversity or biodiversity is that part of nature which includes the differences in genes among the individuals of a species. The variety and richness of all the plant and animal species at different scales in space, locally, in a region, in the country and the world, and various types of ecosystems, both terrestrial and aquatic, within a defined area. Originates from the Greek word bios, life, and Latin word diversitas, variety or difference. The whole word biodiversity generally therefore means variety of life. Diversity of organisms, prokaryotes, protists, fungi or other plants, flowering plants or other animals, mollusks, chordates and all other arthropods. If you see the level of biodiversity, there are three levels of biodiversity. These are genetic diversity, species diversity and ecological diversity. Totality of genes, species and ecosystems of a region is the biodiversity. And if you see the genetic biodiversity, it is a variety of genes within a species. Species diversity is the number of different species that constitute the entire biological spectrum on Earth. Ecosystem diversity, diversity of ecological complexes or biotic communities. If you again see the pyramidal structure, you can see the down genes, then species, then ecosystem. Here you can also see the genetic diversity, species diversity and ecosystem diversity, and you can see the differences between the genes, species and the ecosystem diversity. Ecological diversity you can see in this picture: rainforest, mangrove, estuary and coral reef. Scales of diversity, there are three types of scales again, then alpha, beta and gamma. The alpha is the number of species in a given plot or area. Beta species turnover across an environmental gradient, and gamma diversity is the total biodiversity within a landscape. Gamma diversity is a function of local or within habitat diversity and differences in species composition or turnover of species between habitats or localities. Now we can discuss the importance of biodiversity or biological diversity. So why biodiversity is important? Everything that lives in an ecosystem is part of the web of life, including humans. Each species of vegetation and each creature has a place on the earth and plays a vital role in the circle of life. Plant, animal and insect species interact and depend upon one another for what each offers, such as food, shelter, oxygen and soil enrichment. Maintaining a wide diversity of species in each ecosystem is necessary to preserve the web of life that sustains all living things. In his 1992 bestseller, The Diversity of Life, famed Harvard University biologist Edward O. Wilson, known as the father of biodiversity, said it is reckless to suppose that biodiversity can be diminished indefinitely without threatening human itself. If you see the more importance of biodiversity, the humans are dependent on biodiversity for their sustenance, health, well-being and enjoyment of life. We get food and we rely on biodiversity to provide us with a large and varied food sources. Humanity derives many of its medicines from biodiversity. One word is biophilia. So, biophilia is the human love for and attachment to other living things, the connections that human beings subconsciously seek out with the rest of life, affinity for parks and wildlife, keeping of pets, valuing real estate with landscape views, interest in escaping cities to go hiking, birding, fishing, hunting, backpacking, etc. Again, values of biodiversity, if you see, these are ecological values, economic values and the cultural values. So first we see what is ecological values. All living creatures are supported by the interactions among organisms and ecosystems. Loss of biodiversity makes ecosystems less stable, more vulnerable to extreme events and weakens its natural cycles. If we see the economic values, these are a biologically diverse natural environment provides humans with the necessities of life and forms the basis for the economy. Everything we buy and sell originates from the natural world. Now, cultural values. Most people feel connected to nature, often for reasons hard to explain. Some feel a strong spiritual bond that may be rooted in our common biological ancestry. Others are inspired by its beauty. Human cultures around the world profoundly reflect our visceral attachment to the natural world. Thus, cultural diversity is linked to Earth's biodiversity. Other values are consumption value, productive value, social value, ethical value, aesthetic value, etc. Recreation. Many recreation activities rely on or benefit from biodiversity. Inspiration. Biodiversity as a whole inspires artists, musicians and writers. Biodiversity provides a sanctuary from the hustle and bustle of everyday life. There are so other benefits of biodiversity, that is the consumptive value. We get food, drink, feed, medicine, industrial material, and non-consumptive value, that is the recreation, education and research and the traditional value. Ecological services also provided by the biodiversity like balance of nature, biological productivity, regulation of climate, degradation of waste, cleaning of air and water, cycling of materials, control of pollution, detoxification of soil and sediments, maintenance of soil fertility, etc. Then types of biodiversity measures. What is being measured? Measures of numbers of things. For example, number of species. Measures of processes. For example, primary productivity. Measures of system properties. For example, resilience. What scale? Then that is the genetic, species, community, ecosystem and landscape. Then species richness. The total number of different organisms present. It does not take into account the proportion and distribution of each subspecies within a zone. Simpson Index, a measurement that accounts for the richness and the percent of each subspecies from a biodiversity sample within a zone. The index assumes that the proportion of individuals in an area indicate their importance of diversity. Simpson Index, that is symbol is D, equal to sum phi 2. The first step is to calculate phi, which is the abundance of a given subspecies in a zone divided by the total number of subspecies observed in that zone. Shannon-Weaver Index, the Shannon Index or also called the Shannon-Weaver Index. This measurement takes into account subspecies, richness and proportion of each subspecies within a zone. The first step is to calculate pi for each category subspecies. Then multiply this number by the log of the number. While you may use any base, the natural log is commonly used. The index is computed from the negative sum of these numbers. Using a species richness and the Shannon-Wiener index, you can also compute a measure of evenness. Now the biodiversity hotspot zones. Biodiversity hotspot zones is the British ecologist Norman Mayers gave the concept of biodiversity hotspots in 1988. There are 25 hotspots on a global level. Out of the 25 hotspots, 11 have lost at least 90% of their natural vegetation. The two Indian hotspots such as the Eastern Himalayas and the Western Ghats are rich in flora, reptile, amphibians, butterflies and some mammals. Indo-Burma hotspot region. This region extends from northeast India to Burma and has a rich treasure of biological resources. The region has a remarkable diversity of freshwater turtles and bird species, over 1300 species. A number of dipterocarps, orchids and ginger, 11 species are present in this region. The Himalayan hotspot. The Himalayan hotspot has over 10,000 plant species, of which 31.65 are endemic. These include pines, firs, spruces, rhododendrons and variety of orchids, mosses and ferns. A number of birds and mammals includes vultures, tigers, elephants, rhinos and wild water buffaloes exists in the Himalayas. Next is the Western Ghats and Sri Lanka. Western Ghats and Sri Lanka is one of the richest biodiversity areas with a high rate 52% of endemism of plant species. A number of unique and rare plants and ferns are present in this hotspot. Then now threats to biodiversity. These are the habitat loss and fragmentation, competition from invasive species, pollution, global climate change, desertification, population growth and overconsumption, unsustainable use of natural resources, loss of biodiversity. Due to human activities, biological resources have been declining rapidly. The colonization of tropical Pacific island by humans led to the extinction of more than 2,000 species of native birds. More than 15,500 species are facing the threat of extinction in the worldwide. At present, 12% of birds, 23% of mammals, 32% of amphibians and 31% of gymnosperms face the threat of extinction. Then question is, what are the causes of the biodiversity loss? These are the habitat loss and fragmentation, overexploitation, alien species invasions and co-extinctions. So first we will see the habitat loss and fragmentation. Destruction of habitat is the primary cause of extinction of species. The tropical rainforests initially covered 14% of land but now only 6%. The Amazon rainforest is called the lungs of the planet. When large-sized habitats are broken into small fragmented due to human activities, certain animals are badly affected and threatens their survival. Overexploitation. When natural resources are overexploited by human due to his greed, it results the degradation and extinction of the resources. For example, standard seagull, passenger pigeon, alien species invasion. The introduction of Nile perch into Lake Victoria led extinction of more than 200 species of indigenous kikid fish. Alien species invasion is also very bad for the biodiversity. The recent illegal introduction of the African catfish Gladius gariepinus is posing threat to indigenous catfishes in India. Some alien weeds are carrot grass, lantana and water hyacinth. Co-extinctions. When a species become extinct, the plant and animal species associated with it an obligatory manner also become extinct. For example, if the host fish species becomes extinct, all those parasites exclusively found on it will also become extinct. Biodiversity loss and species extinction. What is extinction? Now, that is the last number of a species dies and the species vanishes forever from Earth. Then extirpation, disappearance of a particular population but not the entire species globally. These are natural processes. On average, one species goes extinct naturally. 500 to 1000 years, this is the background rate of extinction. 99% of all species that ever lived are now extinct. Recently extincted animals you can see in this picture, that is the dodo, quagga, standard sea cow and thylacinine. Effect of biodiversity loss. We can see that there are decline in plant production, lowered resistance to environmental perturbations such as drought, increased variability in certain ecosystem processes such as plant productivity, water use and pest and disease cycles. So now question is what are the consequences of loss of biodiversity? A loss of ecosystem services, protection of water resources, nutrient storage and cycling, pollution breakdown and absorption. Loss of genetic diversity. Genetic diversity allows a species to adapt to changing environmental conditions and stresses, and that is main is the reduced food security. So now question is that how to conserve our biodiversity, because biodiversity is our life. And for the conservation of biodiversity, so question is why we have to conserve biodiversity. So there are reasons for biodiversity conservation. These are the narrowly utilitarian, broadly utilitarian and the ethical argument. So first we see the narrow utilitarian. First is the food. Food we get from the biodiversity, that are the cereals, pulses and fruits. Then firewood, fiber, medicines, for construction material. We also get for building materials, then industrial products, and these are the economic benefits from the nature. If we see the broadly utilitarian, that is the ecosystem services, Amazon forest produces 20% of the total oxygen in the atmosphere on Earth. Pollination of plants through pollinators, bee, birds and bats. Aesthetic pleasures of walking through thick woods, watching spring flowers, etc. Ethical argument. There are millions of plants, animals and microbes on this earth with whom we share. Each species on this earth has some intrinsic value. It is therefore our moral duty to take care of all the living creatures and pass on our biological legacy in good order to future generations. Conservation approaches, international treaties. Various treaties have helped conserve biota. A major one is CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, prepared in 1973. It bans international trade and transport of body parts of endangered organisms. Conservation approaches, these are also some international treaties. The Convention on Biological Diversity, that is called the CBD, from the Rio Conference in 1992, and aims of this convention is the conserve biodiversity, use it sustainably and ensure fair distribution of its benefits. The CBD has been signed by 188 nations but not by the United States that time. Biodiversity is the variety of life forms on earth and the essential interdependence of all living things. As defined in Convention on Biological Diversity signed at Rio de Janeiro, Brazil in 1992 by 154 countries, the biodiversity defined as the variability among living organisms from all sources including inter alia, terrestrial, marine and other aquatic ecosystems and the ecological complexes of which the area part. This include diversity within species, between species and of ecosystem. According to IUCN in 1998, the variety and variability of a species of their population, the variety of a species of their dive forms, the diversity of the complex association with a species with their interaction and their ecological process which influences perform. Now, biodiversity conventions. The first convention on biodiversity organized at Rio de Janeiro, capital of Brazil, from June 5th to 16th, 1992, named as United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, UNCED, better known as the Rio Summit, to maintain ecological balance and enrich biodiversity. The agreement on biodiversity signed by 150 countries, including 3 programs to ensure conservation of biodiversity, sustainable use of biodiversity, rational and equitable share of profit to accrue from use of genetic resources. The second convention, organized at Johannesburg in 2002, called World Summit on Sustainable Development, WSSD, where the biodiversity and sustainable ecosystem management was the issue. The international conference held on biodiversity in relation to food and human security in a warming planet, 15th to 17th February 2010 in Chennai. International Conference on Wildlife and Biodiversity Conservation held on 3rd to 5th June 2010 at Dal Lake, Srinagar, Kashmir. Indian Biodiversity Congress IBC and Indian Biodiversity Expo IBE will be held on 27 to 23rd December at Kerala. So 2010, as you all know, that it was the international year of the biodiversity, because and the main theme was the biodiversity is life and biodiversity is our life. In India, Biodiversity Act of India was framed in 2002. The Government of India approved Biodiversity Bill in December 2002, which became an act known as Biological Diversity Act of 2002. Later, Biological Diversity Rules 2004 were formulated as a step towards conservation of biodiversity. According to this act, anyone who destroys biodiversity in any way or takes it away for commercial utilization or any other purpose without approval of authorities is liable to be imprisoned for up to 5 years or to pay a fine of rupees 10 lakhs. Conservation of biodiversity, you know, that is the 2 types, in situ and ex situ. So, what is in situ conservation? Conservation of a species is best done by protecting its habitat along with all other species that live it in their original nature. Ex situ conservation, however, there are situations in which an endangered species is so close to extinction that unless alternate methods are instituted, the species may be rapidly driven to extinction. So, biodiversity inventories, conservation biodiversity in protected habitats, that are the comes under the in situ conservation, and ex situ conservation are the seed bank, gene bank, pollen bank, DNA bank. So, we keep it safe artificially. If you see in this picture chart, in the chart form, biodiversity conservation in situ, ex situ, you can see that in situ sacred groves and lakes, biodiversity reserves, these are all natural habitat, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, terrestrial and marine. And if you see that ex situ, that is the sacred plant home garden, seed bank, gene bank and cryopreservation, botanical garden, zoological garden and aquaria. Here we keep the artificially, we save the plants and animals. Ex situ conservation means off-site conservation. The species of plants and animals to be protected are removed from the natural habitats and are placed in the safer areas under the control of man. Botanical gardens, zoos and the arboreta are the traditional methods of ex situ conservation. Germplasm banks or seed banks, also called the gene banks, are some other methods of ex situ conservation. If you see the in situ conservation, it means on-site conservation, that is protection of species within the natural habitat of the species of animals and plants. It includes protection in the wildlife sanctuaries, national parks and biosphere reserves, etc. that have been formed to protect threatened and even rare species. In India, we have 608 protected areas, that is national parks 95, biosphere reserves 13, wildlife sanctuaries 500. In India, there are 4 internationally recognized biosphere reserves: Nilgiri, Gulf of Mannar, Sundarbans and Nanda Devi. Man and Biosphere Program of UNESCO has given these 4 internationally recognized biosphere reserves. In Tamil Nadu, we have National Park 5, Wildlife Sanctuaries 20, biosphere reserves. In other states also we have these biospheres and wildlife sanctuaries. So now the question is ethics about the biodiversity conservation. So we have an ethical responsibility to prevent species extinction. On one hand, as humans, we need to use resources and consume other organisms to survive. On the other hand, we have conscious reasoning ability and are able to make conscious decisions. So, conservation biology, scientific discipline devoted to understanding the factors, forces and processes that influence the loss, protection and restoration of biological diversity within and among ecosystems. Applied and goal-oriented conservation biologists intend to prevent extinction. This discipline arose in recent decades as biologists grew alarmed at the degradation of natural systems they had spent their life studying. Equilibrium theory of island biogeography explains how species diversity patterns arise on islands as a result of immigration, extinction, island size and distance from the mainland. The theory originally developed as basic science for oceanic islands. Then it was found to apply to islands of habitats, fragments within terrestrial systems for conservation biology. Conservation approaches captive breeding. Many endangered species are being bred in zoos to boost populations and reintroduce them into the wild. This has worked so far for the California condor. In photo, condor hand puppet feet stick, so it imprints on birds, not humans. You can see in this picture. But this is worthless if there is not adequate habitat left in the wild. Conservation approaches, that is called for umbrella species. When habitat is preserved to meet the needs of an umbrella species, it helps preserve habitat for many other species. Thus, primary species serve as an umbrella for others. Large species with large home ranges like tigers and other top predators are good umbrella species. So are flagship species or charismatic species that win public affection like the panda. Conservation approaches, that is for biological hotspots. Biological hotspot is an area that supports an especially high number of species endemic to the area found nowhere else in the world. One more conservation approaches, that is the community-based conservation. Many environmentalists from developed nations who want to establish reserves in developing nations have been viewed with resentment by local people. But today many efforts work with local communities to get them invested in the conservation of their own natural resources. This community-based conservation makes efforts more complex but will probably be more successful in the long run. Conservation approaches, that is the economic incentives. Debt for Nature swaps, a non-government organization raises money and offers to pay off debt for a developing country in exchange for parks, reserves, habitat protection. Conservation concession and NGO offers money to a developing nation's government for a concession to some of its land for conservation rather than for resource extraction. So, we conclude with this that biodiversity is our life. If the biodiversity got lost at this rate, then in near future the survival of human being will be threatened. So it is our moral duty to conserve biodiversity as well as our environment. Long-term maintenance of species and their management requires cooperative efforts across entire landscapes. Biodiversity should be dealt with at scale of habitats or ecosystems rather than at a species level. We depend on each other, live and let live. So thank you so much. And if any question you have, you can mail me or you can phone me. I will share my phone and mail number to Pitambar sir. Anytime during preparation, if you need my help, please call me or you can mail me. You can ask any questions regarding this topic or any other topic you need at that time. Thank you, students. Thank you so much.